Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Have you ever wondered if in the future mankind will need to consume and digest trash in order to survive? In the future, humankind has experienced numerous biological changes to be able to adapt with the environment. One of them is Brecken, a young boy who lives happily with his mother on the seashore. From the physical appearance, this boy looks just like a normal human. However, his digestive organs have altered, causing him to be able to consume plastic and other inedible stuff. Seeing this unusual behavior of her son, the mother becomes worried, but cannot do anything about it. One night, when Brecken is asleep, she sneaks into his room and smothers him with a pillow. He tries to resist, but the mother keeps smothering him until he's dead. After that, the mother doesn't feel any remorse at all because she thinks that the boy is not a human being, thus she never considers the boy as her son. She calls her husband to confess and then leaves. Not long after, the father, named Lang, arrives at the house to pick up the corpse. Elsewhere, a renowned performance artist named Saul is laying helpless on an advanced, weird-shaped bed. He suffers a rare disease called accelerated evolution syndrome, causing unusual organs to constantly grow inside his body. Because Saul's been in pain all night due to the bed not functioning properly, his wife, Caprice, takes him to another room to do a quick examination. She finds out that he's developing a brand new organ inside his abdomen. To make things worse, Saul is also born with an unusual digestive system and has to be fed by a chair to eat human food. That night, the couple go to the National Organ Registry to consult about what's happening to Saul's body. Upon arrival, they are welcomed by Whippet and his assistant, Timlin. Whippet explains human evolution has been concerning and might lead the world into a dangerous place. This evolution even causes some humans unable to perceive physical pain anymore. Because of that, the government established the Organ Registry to track these biological changes. Caprice, who is an ex-trauma surgeon, tells the officials that they are a performance artist couple who regularly perform a live surgery to remove Saul's new organ in their shows. Inspired by the story, Whippet and Timlin perform a quick examination of Saul's new organ and subsequently mark it with a registration tattoo. Whippet also states that these organs might be passed down to their children, and these children will no longer be considered as humans. In the evening, two technicians from the Lifeformware, a company that produces advanced devices, come over to their house to recalibrate the bed. They perform some adjustment to the bed so that it'll align with Saul's current body's condition. After that, the couple show them a very rare and limited autopsy unit that's not manufactured anymore. The technicians are very fascinated with the machine. It's the D-Day of the couple's next show. Just after everyone's arrived at the venue, Caprice immediately commences the surgery in front of the audiences. Saul's abdomen is cut open by the autopsy unit controlled by his wife, revealing the new organ. She then removes the organ with a freshly inked tattoo on it. Meanwhile, Lang observes the performance from a distance. After the show, Timlin approaches Saul and praises him for the performance, saying that the surgery arouses her. Caprice, of course, is unhappy with the flirting and becomes jealous. On the other hand, Lang deliberately leaves a candy bar on the table. A man takes the bait and immediately eats it. Shortly after, he dies due to food poisoning. The following day, Timlin and Whippet are interrogated by Detective Cope. He finds out that the officials had a deal with Saul and asks them about the organ's removal performance shown by the couple. Timlin believes that what the couple's doing is a new way of performing art shows, but Cope doesn't think that a tumorous growth inside a human body is an art. To convince the detective, the officials then show him the portfolio of Saul's removed organs. Back to the couple, Caprice discovers that her husband's developing a new organ again, which surprised her because the interval between growths is closing up. Saul is very happy with it. The couple later attend another organ performance of a fellow artist, who has ears growing all over his body. There, Saul meets with a woman who recommends him to go to an inner beauty specialist called Dr. Nassatir. Outside the building, Lang sees Saul and decides to approach him. He suggests Saul utilizes the autopsy unit to perform a real autopsy on a real corpse as part of his shows. He's even willing to donate his son's body for the performance, claiming that there would be surprises inside the body. Thinking that the father is crazy, he leaves him without giving any response. At home, Saul tells his wife about the corpse autopsy show idea. Caprice agrees to it, but she thinks that they have to apply some modification into the machine. The wife lays naked inside the machine and they begin to check the machine. Later that night, Saul secretly rendezvous with Detective Cope. Turns out that all this time he's been working for the detective in an undercover mission. Saul tells him about his meeting with a woman earlier and Cope orders him to follow it up. In exchange of the information, Saul requests to talk with Brecken's mother. Afterwards, Saul goes to drive Nassatir's place where the doctor proposes to install a zipper to his abdomen. He also invites Saul to take part in an inner beauty pageant, where everyone can freely show off their neo-organs. As Saul arrives home, he shows his newly installed zipper to his wife. Caprice is not quite surprised, and the couple have an intimate moment together. In the morning, Saul meets with Brecken's mother inside a prison. Until now, she still considers her deceased son as a creature because of his unusual digestive organs, and she blames the father, Lang, for that. Moving to Lang's perspective, it turns out that he's the one who runs a poisonous candy bar factory. He and all his men have their digestive system modified, so that they can consume and digest plastic wastes. It's also revealed that the candy bar is made of toxic waste. That's why people with a normal digestive system will die upon consuming it. Meanwhile, Caprice attends another human modification show. This time the artist named Odile deliberately creates scars on his own face, and surprisingly, the performance is covered by many journalists. Caprice is intrigued by the art behind the self-hurting, or they call it a desire to be open, so Odile invites her to join the after-party event. That night, she shows Saul her new scar modification on her forehead. The husband is surprised, but does not comment any further about it. Caprice insists that she wants to perform the corpse autopsy herself. They argue, but then Saul agrees to it. Saul visits the National Organ Registry where Whippet reveals that he's the registrar of Inner Beauty Pageant. He thinks that Saul has a good chance of winning the illegal event. Shortly after, Saul is approached by Timlin. Inside a secret room, Saul asks her whether she has ever encountered a system of neo-organs that have a fully functional digestive system, allowing the human to be able to digest plastics. She claims that until now she's only discovered single organ growths like Saul's, not the whole system. Moments later, the couple rendezvous with Lang in his place where he shows them their object of show, which is his own son's body. Upon seeing the body, Caprice suddenly changes her mind and wants to withdraw the autopsy show. Lang attempts to convince the couple, saying that he needs to make a strong public statement towards the government, who is against the evolutionist group. Lang argues that Brecken's, Lang's, and Saul's modified digestive system is a natural process that should not be hindered because that's the consequences of environmental damage caused by humans and industrial wastes. Saul later consults with Detective Cope to decide whether he should proceed with the show or not. Cope states that he should continue because he wants to use this opportunity to get rid of Lang and all humans that can eat plastics waste. He argues that they are evolving away from human path, therefore must be banished. The next day, the technicians from the Lifeformware knock on Dr. Nassatir's door. Instead of repairing the chair, it turns out that they come there to assassinate the doctor. The couple pay a visit to Lang's factory. This time Lang explains that he and the others deliberately modified their digestive system because he thinks it's time for humans to start feeding on their own industrial waste. He also reveals that Brecken was the very first human to be born with a plastic processing digestive system, meaning that Lang's modified digestive system passed down to his offsprings. Lang believes that Brecken was a symbol of hope, but since he's killed by his own mother, there's no other way than a public autopsy to reveal this miracle to the world. After a long discussion, the show eventually begins. Caprice is the main star on the show while Saul operates the autopsy unit backstage. Unfortunately, when they cut open the abdomen, the audiences find nothing special about Brecken's digestive organs, except they are rotten and tattoos scrawled on them. Everyone, especially Lang, is very disappointed with the result while Caprice keeps trying to catch the audience's attention with dramatic statements. Lang then goes out of the venue and cries. Suddenly, the technicians approach him and eliminate him. After the show, Saul meets with Cope again and demands him to tell the truth. It turns out that Cope ordered Timlin to remove Brecken's original organs and replaced it with normal organs. He thinks that it's a necessary action in order to prevent the news from spreading worldwide. Feeling betrayed, Saul leaves him in anger. Since then, Saul refuses to sleep on the advanced bed and struggles to eat in the chair. Caprice then decides to give him the candy bar. As soon as Saul takes the first bite, the pain suddenly goes away and he cries with happiness. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.